this photograph shows two ladies. The one stood up is my own mother, and the elderly lady that is sat down is my grandma. In other words, she's my mother's mother, and that was Grandma Wright. And they both, at one stage, they both lived together in a little house in Hull, because my grandma used to come, and she often lived with us for quite a while, but we can't say too much, because now and again there were little ripples in the family, because grandma knew what was right and what to do, and there we are. But she was good anyway, and she belonged to a Methodist church, and she had a very near friend, Mrs. Shaw, used to go with her to the it was known as the Methodist church, and it was on Anleby Road. It's quite near to where my grandma used to live.
What was your mum's name?
My mum's name was Ethel Minnie, and we always called her Grandma, but it was Minnie because when Arlene was born, she was christened as Arlene Minnie, but she's always regretted that because she didn't like the name. So yeah, and they were in a home. There's a place just on the outskirts of Hull called Sutton, and there was a home there. I can't just think offhand the name of the home, but that's where they were, and it must have been one afternoon, and it was tea time, and we'd gone to see them. But she had a good memory. We used to say, when is such and such a birthday, when's Fred's birthday, when Ken's birthday, we don't know, go and ask Grandma. And we did, and she knew. Yeah.
So your nan, how old was she when she was called home?
She was 99. Had she lived a few, she died in the early part of the year, and had she lived a few months later, then she would have reached the 100 mark, but unfortunately she didn't.
And how old was your mum when she passed away?
My mum was 88, and she died here because she came when we moved down.
It's all right, don't
worry. When we moved down from Hull down to Portsmouth, my mum came down with us, and there was a elderly people's home built in 5th Street where we lived, on the opposite side of the road. We used to face it from our house, and my mum was in there because Grace, my wife Grace, she started to be poorly at the end of 1971, and she had a bad bout of angina, which kept her indoors and really kept her in bed for quite a while, from October right through to the following February. So my mum, I couldn't manage, and the doctor said something had to be done. So my mum went into this home that was opposite us, which was called at that time Harry Sotnick's house, and my mum passed away in that home there, and she died, I think from memory, I know it was March, but if I say the 18th of March 1974, when my mum died. Yeah.